Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are fine and enjoying your studies. So student, today we will start our new chapter. Our chapter is Human Resources from class 8 Geography's book. So student, I think you all know about resources. Student, what is resources? Yes, try. Very good. Resources is the collective wealth of country or its means of producing wealth. So students, our chapter name is Human Resources. It means human is also resource. So people are the nation's greatest resource. Nature's bounty becomes significant only when people find it useful. So student, human resource is the ultimate resource. Healthy, educated and motivated people become very important resource for our country. So student, in this chapter we will discuss about density of population, distribution of population and factors affecting the distribution of population, population composition. So student, let's start our chapter. Shall we start? Let's start. Students, do you know the Government of India has a Ministry of Human Resource Development. Now its name changed and we call it Ministry of Education. Our current education ministry is Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. Students, the ministry was created in 1985 with an aim to improve people's skills. This just shows how important people are as a resource for a country. Students, human resources like other resources are not equally distributed over the world. They differ in their educational level, age and sex. Their numbers and characteristics also keep changing. Students, now we discuss about distribution of population. The way in which people are spread across the Earth's surface is known as the pattern of population distribution. More than 90% of world's population lives in about 10% of the land surface. The distribution of population in the world is extremely uneven. Some areas are very crowded and some are sparely populated. The crowded areas are South and Southeast Asia, Europe and Northeastern Northern America. Very few people live in high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains and areas of equatorial forest. Many more people live north of the equator than south of the equator. Almost 3/4 of the world's people live in two continents, Asia and Africa. Student, here you see figure 6.1, world population by continents. It shows the distribution of population in continent wise. It shows highest population is in Asia and lowest population is in Oceania. Oceania means students, it means Australia, New Zealand and the Pacific Island. We call this world. 60% of the world's people stay in just 10 countries. All of them have more than 100 million people. Students, here you see in figure 6.2, world's most populous countries. China is number 1 in most populous country. India's rank is second. You see here USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Russia, Japan all are shown in this diagram. So students, I hope you understand this diagram very well. Let's start our next topic, density of population. Students, what is density of population? It is the number of people living in a unit area of the Earth's surface. It is normally expressed as per square kilometer. The average density of population in the whole world is 51 persons per square kilometer. South Central Asia has the highest density of population, followed by East and Southeast Asia. Students, do you know average density of population in India is 382 persons per square kilometer. Students, now I will tell you about factors affecting distribution of population. There are two factors, geographical factors and other are social, cultural and economic factor. First we discuss about geographical factors. In geographical factors, there are topography, climate, soil, water, minerals. First we discuss topography. People always prefer to live on plains rather than mountains and plateaus because these areas are suitable for farming, manufacturing and service activities. The Ganga plains are the most densely populated areas of the world, while mountains like Andes, Alps and Himalayas are sparsely populated. Other is climate. People usually avoid extreme climates that are very hot or very cold like Sahara Desert, polar regions of Russia, Canada and Antarctica. Next is soil. Fertile soils provide suitable land for agriculture. Fertile plains such as Ganga and Brahmaputra in India, Hwanghae, Xinjiang in China and the Nile in Egypt are densely populated. Next is water. People prefer to live in the areas where fresh water is easily available. The river valleys of the world are densely populated while deserts have spare population. Next is minerals. Areas with mineral deposits are more populated. Diamond mines of South Africa and discovery of oil in the Middle East lead to settling of people in these areas. So students, these are our geographical factors. Now we discuss our next factors, social factor. Area of better housing, education and health facilities are more densely populated. For example, Pune. Next is cultural. Places with religion or cultural significance attract people. Varanasi, Jerusalem and Vatican City are some examples. Next is economic factors. Industrial area provide employment opportunities. Large number of people are attracted to these areas. Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India are two densely populated areas. So students, now we discuss about population change. What is population change? The population change refers to change in the number of people during a specific time. The world population has not been stable. This is actually due to changes in the number of births and deaths. For an extremely long period of human history, until the 80s, the world's population grew steadily but slowly. Large numbers of babies were born but they died early too. This was as there were no proper health facilities. Sufficient food was not available for all the people. Farmers were not able to produce enough to meet the food requirements of all the people. As a result, the total increase in population was very low. In 1804, the world's population reached 1 billion. 150 years later, in the early 1959, the world population reached 3 billion. This is often called population explosion. In 1999, 40 years later, the population doubled to 6 billion. The main reason for this growth was that with better food supplies and medicines, deaths were reducing while the number of births still remained fairly high. So student, here we discuss three components of population change. First is birth rate, second is death rate, third is migration. What is birth rate? Births are usually measured using the birth rate, that is the number of live births per 1,000 people. Death rate. Deaths are usually measured using the death rate, that is the number of deaths per 1,000 people. Migration. Migration is the movement of people in and out of an area. Birth and death are the natural cause of population change. The difference between the birth rate and the death rate of a country is called the natural growth rate. The population increase in the world is mainly due to rapid increase in natural growth rate. Student, you see this figure 6.3. Here you see world population growth. Students, migration. Migration is another way by which population size changes. People may move within a country or between countries. Emigrants are people who leave a country. Immigrants are those who arrive in a country. Countries like the United States of America and Australia have gained in numbers by in-migration or immigration. Sudan is an example of a country that has experienced a loss in population number due to out-migration or emigration. Student, See figure 6.4. It shows balance of population. In first figure, population increase. How population increase? You see in this diagram, birth rate more than death rate. When this type of situation is occurred, population increase. So student, our next picture is population stays the same. In this situation, birth rate and death rate are same. In next picture, population decreases. In this picture, death rate is more than birth rate. So these three pictures show us balance of population. Students, the general trend of international migrations from the less developed nations to the more developed nations in search of better employment opportunities. Within countries, large number of people may move from the rural to urban areas in search of employment, education and health facilities. Students, I will tell you reasons of migration. These reasons can be put into two broad categories, push factor and pull factor. In push factor, these causes people to leave their place of residence and origin. Poverty, high population pressure on the land, lack of basic infrastructural facilities like healthcare, education, etc. Natural disasters such as flood, drought give extra push to migrants. In pull factor, which attract the people from different places. These are better opportunities like education, health facilities and sources of entertainment are also quite important pull factor. Availability of regular work and relatively higher wages are also important pull factor. So two reasons of migration, or we can say two factors of migration, these are push and pull. So student, now we discuss about patterns of population change. Rates of population growth vary across the world. See figure 6.5. Although the world total population is rising rapidly, not all countries are experiencing this growth. Some countries like Kenya have high population growth rates. They had both high birth rates and death rates. Now, with improving healthcare, death rates have fallen, but birth rates still remain high, leading to high growth rates. In other countries like United Kingdom, population growth is slowing because of both low death and low birth rates. Now student, we discuss population composition. To understand the role of people as a resource, we need to know more about their qualities. See figure. In this figure, students, we know about human as a resource. This lady says, I tell stories to my grandchildren. This man says, I sing at weddings. This lady says, I am researching for medicine to cure cancer. This man says, I build bridges. This lady says, I take care of my home. This man says, I am a farmer. So, these all are the collective wealth of a country. Every human being is potential resource for the society. People vary greatly in their age, sex, literacy level, health condition, occupation and income level. It is essential to understand these characteristics of the people. Population composition refer to the structure of the population. The composition of population helps us to know how many are male or female, which age group they belong to, how educated they are and what type of occupations they are employed in, what their income levels and health conditions are. An interesting way of studying the population composition of a country is by looking at the population pyramid, also called an age-sex pyramid. A population pyramid shows the total population divided into various age groups like 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years and the percentage of the total population subdivided into males and females in each of those groups. Female are always shown in right hand side and males are shown in left hand side. The shape of the population pyramid tells the story of the people living in that particular country. The number of children below 15 years are shown at the bottom and reflect the level of births. The size of the top show the number of aged people above 65 years and reflect the number of deaths. The population pyramid also tells us how many dependents there are in a country. There are two groups of dependents: young dependents aged below 15 years and elderly dependents aged over 65 years. Those of the working age are the economically active. The population pyramid of a country in which birth and death rates both are high is broad at the base and rapidly narrow toward the top. This is because although many children are born, a large percentage of them die in their infancy. Relatively few become adults and there are very few old people. This situation is typified by the pyramid shown for Kenya. See figure 6.7. You see it is broad in base and narrow in top. So student, in countries where death rates, especially amongst the very young, are decreasing, the pyramid is broad in the younger age groups because more infants survive to adulthood. This can be seen in the pyramid of India. See figure 6.8. Such population contain a relatively large number of young people. You see here 15 to 19 and 40 to 44. There are large number of young people, and which mean a strong and expanding labor force, because 15 to 65 we call it working population. So working population expand labor force. In countries like Japan, low birth rates make the pyramid narrow at the base. Decreased death rate allow number of people to reach old age. So student, in these population pyramid, you know about the population composition. Skilled, spirited and hopeful young people endowed with a positive outlook for the future of any nation. We in India are fortunate to have such a resource. They must be educated and provided skills and opportunities to become able and productive. So student, we start our question answers. Let's start. So student, first question is match the following, column A and column B. In column A, migration, emigration, climate. In column B, movement of people to other countries, geographical factors, the movement of people in and out of an area. So student, match it. Migration, match with, yes, try. The movement of people in and out of an area. Very good. Emigration, movement of people to other countries. Climate, it is geographical factor. Very good students. So our next question is fill in the blanks. First, dash is the ultimate resource. Second, dash in Japan and dash in India are two densely populated areas. Third, Varanasi, Jerusalem and Vatican City are some examples of dash factors. Fourth, in 1999, less than 40 years later, the population doubled to dash billion. Student, tell me the answer. Yes, try. So student, answer is first, human resource. Second, Osaka and Mumbai. Third, cultural factors. Fourth, 6 billion. Very good students. So students, our next question is true and false. Population and migration are the most dynamic geographic study. It's true or false? It false. Next, sex ratio is defined as the number of female per thousand males in the population. True. Next question, children of age group 0 to 14 are considered to be unproductive. It's true. So students, next question is which is the most populated continent of the world? Answer is Asia. Next, in which country is the city of Osaka located? Answer is Osaka city is located in Japan. Next question, who are immigrants? Answer, immigrants are those who arrive in a country. Students, what is population pyramid? Answer, population pyramid is a graphical presentation of the age, sex composition of a population. Next question, what is meant by natural growth rate? Answer, The difference between the birth rate and the death rate of a country is called the natural growth rate. So student, I hope you understand this chapter. In this chapter, we discuss about distribution of population, density of population, especially we discuss about population change. In this change, we find three components: death rate, birth rate and migration. So student, don't forget these components, okay? So student, we will meet again in our next chapter. Till then, bye bye, namaskar.